How are you, champ?
Everybody good? Thank you.
We'll be mostly doing English, but sometimes if you need some help, I will.
So you'll speak in English.
Sometimes maybe longer, maybe more correct, so you help.
All right, guys, because Sergey's going to translate just so he can understand the questions. So don't rush the questions. He'll give you thoughtful answers that way. Who wants to start? Kevin?
Tim got him.
Tim?
Gennady, you look like you're in good spirits today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to fight night after.
No, I'm very happy because I come back to Vegas and really because I have a huge fight and a huge situation, huge position. This is maybe the biggest level for me. 100% is the biggest level. I feel healthy. I feel strong. Why not? My smile is still with me.
Were you nervous in the first your first Las Vegas fight, the first time around, and so much better?
No, it's my experience. I had great experience from first fight, and I'm not nervous. I'm a professional athlete. Maybe like 20 years ago, I have nervous, not really.
And the amateurs.
Yeah, right now I'm very excited.
Question for Abel. How would you compare this training camp to the last one? Any difference at all?
A lot of difference. More with a purpose. We trained in the prior training camps hard. Obviously, we train always hard, but this time after the positive test, there was a different edge to G. He thought he was insulted. He thought he was disrespected. So the camp was more purposeful.
Also, as a trainer, how much easier is it for you to train somebody after you've seen your fighter against that fighter for 12 rounds?
It can be easy, but remember, the other guys are going to make adjustments too. So it's easy because we know what we have in front of us, we know the capabilities. But I have a fighter, as in the Curtis Stevens fight, who's been disrespected, and in his mind he's been disrespected, so he's going to make him pay.
And he didn't feel like he was disrespected in the first fight?
He was business. Only business.
Yeah, only business. Now it's personal?
We were just happy to get Canelo in the ring in the first
And now it's personal, Triple G? No?
No, only business.
Only business again.
So what's the difference then? Because you say the first fight was business and now it's different, but...
Kevin, you remember my first fight, we have a lot of respect for each other, okay, take your time. Right now, just 100% focused. Real fight, real war, because it's just business.
I wanted to see if I could get both you and Abel to answer this. I talk to a lot of experts out there, trainers and fighters, and they're all picking Canelo to win the fight. And the one thing that they're leading is your age is a factor, and that your legs aren't as good as they used to be. When you hear that criticism, does it make you laugh or does it anger you? How do you feel?
I feel very comfortable because I just said it's Vegas and more Mexican fans coming because Independence Mexican Day, and I believe true boxing fans support me because everybody in the situation with Canelo and I feel very comfortable.
You feel like
absolutely.
You're not old. You don't feel like an old fighter.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Just maybe, just a little bit, and it's my experience, my life experience. It's a little bit bonus for me.
His legs look pretty.
He hasn't been dominated yet. He's undefeated because you guys understand the last one wasn't a loss. So until he gets dominated, I think that we can cite his age and cite his maybe he's eroding. But until somebody dominates him in the ring or in training, then I can't agree with that. There's a lot of experts picking the other way too. So I just hope it's as good a fight as we're hoping it's going to be.
Do you think his experience is an advantage in this fight?
His experience is a total advantage. As in, Canelo became a better fighter after he got whipped by Mayweather. He'll become a better fighter after he gets whipped by Gennady again.
How did his legs look to you, Abel, in the May fight?
In the May fight, I thought that Gennady done everything I think that was a preface to this fight because he took out some frustrations in that fight that he has going to take out on Canelo on the 15th.
Gennady, your longevity has been really impressive. There's been very few fighters that have been this good at this age for this long. What do you think about your training and about you in particular lends itself to fighting at this level at 36?
First of all, thanks my coach, my team, my life experience, my family, my sponsor, like a Jordan, like a Hublot, everybody support me, just my legs very fast like a Michael Jordan because I have Jordan shoes. No, just...
Can you touch the rim?
Maybe, why not?
Hey, we saw you shoot that basketball from you sitting down, so it's got to be something.
This is my secret.
No, but really,
Don't tell.
what do you do that, everyone's heard about your legendary training, habits. Is it your work ethic?
Healthy life, not genetics, I think it's healthy life.
And Abel, what do you think?
I think it's how he grew up. The Kazakh system is proven today even that it's a great system. The way that they make sure that their fighters are not only technically fit, but they're very physically fit, and they teach them how to work hard. Fortunately for me, got a fighter that had a great foundation, had a great work ethic, had a great attitude about training, and I think that's what keeps him interested, and that's what keeps him at this level.
I was talking to Joe Joyce, and he said he can't believe how much more sit-ups, dribbles he can do than the other fighters in the motor.
That's what I'm talking about. It's that Kazakh system that was instilled in him to just never is enough. What that Muhammad Ali said, that he starts counting when he starts to hurt. So I think if you're prepared to do that, you're going to stay at the top for a long time.
Gennady, I remember before the first fight, the story of the promotion was all about respect. You wore the old clothes. It was like, you guys are fighters in the ring, but afterwards it's a handshake. When did that respect start to go? The respect that you had for him?
After doping scandal.
Yeah, that was the main thing.
Because after first fight, I remember I said, okay, thank you for fight. It's a great fight. He said the same, huge fight, you're still strong, you're still champion, just a very fun friend. After doping scandal, I'm not political, I'm a fighter. Just for me, this is a terrible situation. And I said, okay, right now I have only business. Not, it's good, it's bad, it's not for me. Just for me, if he's one fight, I'm ready. If there's one fight, okay, just only business.
Also, do you remember that day at Big Bear when that was the first time when you really spoke out very strongly about the doping situation? What was it that built up to that? Was it just sort of the frustration that built up within you, or you wanted to say something? What was,
not just one day, just little by little, step by step. I remember my first performance to May fight, just more. I know I won this fight in May. I won because it's Cinco de Mayo. Just I want to bring a new show for my fans, for boxing fans, for people. Just I want to stay activity. And I said it's my performance for the next fight for September. Every day is bigger.
For Abel. Canelo is now going to be going off on a year layoff. I think it's the longest of his career. He had the arthroscopic knee surgery. Do you think that he could be hampered early at least?
No, I don't think so. I think that he understands what he has in front of him. He understands exactly who Gennady is. He's going to be the same guy that was last year. If he wasn't 100%, I don't think that he would risk that big ego as big as his head is to put that in danger.
Abel, Gennady doesn't say it's personal, but is it personal for you after everything that's been going on?
It's a business. This is business. This is business. It's personal that he insulted us by claiming what he claimed. It's insulting that some of the things that he did leading up to this fight, but no, this is business. This is business, and he's going to pay for this business.
Like a Floyd and McGregor fight. This is not true sport, not true fight. This is more business.
Do you guys think you penetrated him psychologically, and how do you hope or think that that's going to affect the fight if you do think
The things that I've said in the past, I feel are the truth. The only thing I had an opinion about was his running, but other things that I've said leading up to this has made him mad at me. I just want him to do what he's saying he's going to do. He's going to try to knock Golovkin out, like as he said the first time. If he does that, then we're going to be treated to a great fight. If he doesn't, then you guys can ask him those questions why he didn't. Maybe he was afraid of the power and being knocked out.
Is that what it is? I mean, you say treated to a great fight. If he gives you the kind of fight like that, Gennady, do you think you knock him out?
If you give him a chance, yeah, of course I do. Nobody knows because like huge level, like he is seriously not a regular fighter. He is big boxing IQ. He knows he has couple variants. Right now just a little bit different situation. Just more we're ready.
Guys that have been fighting, you have been fighting. You reach a certain level where you're really good. You don't change it, I don't think. You'll be you and he'll be he. The difference, the first time you get hit, forget plan A, plan B, you become the same guy. You expect this fight to go forget the judges, but I mean you and fight the same way, developing the same stuff. Your surprises sound wonderful, but when you fight, right?
You're absolutely right. Right now I feel great. I believe I'm ready for 12 rounds. I believe I wanna try to beat him, like knock him down. Nobody knows. And I hope we'll bring huge fight to fans and.
Before you said this is not.
One second.
What you were saying, will he be the same guy and you be the same guy? I know all this talk about the rematch, this guy is playing this. It's the same two guys fighting, right? So we should not be surprised. If somebody gets knocked out, we'll be surprised. But the way you guys fight will be basically the same. Or will it?
Как сказать, я буду самим собой, он будет самим собой, как мы подготовились на эти бои, то есть это покажется 15 сентября.
Well, I be myself and he be himself, and the way we've been prepared, we will see it on September 15th.
Gennady, you already have a huge support.
Jerry, I think they all need to listen to you. You've been around. You know exactly what the rematches are all about.
I've been around since the year after they discovered it.
Очень много видел матчей реванша еще.
Gennady, you already have a huge support among many Mexican fans. Have you noticed that support has grown with everything that's happened, with the way the first fight went, what's happened with Canelo and doping, and what would it mean to you if you have a very strong Mexican support for Canelo?
First of all, thanks my Mexican fans. I believe like more. I believe more after scandal. Not just people. The people he want like clean fight. He want clean fighters. People like true fighters. Like people like true heroes. This is not for nationality. Not for nationality. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not American. Just I'm original from Kazakhstan. Just I like America. I'm living this my second home. Just like I have my opponent. He's from Mexico. He's not American. So many American people support boxing, not because like this is boxing. We are professional athletes. Just a little bit different. The same like Mexican people support me because people like my style. The same like Russian people or Kazakhstan people support Canelo because he's young, he feel power, he feel like he's huge athlete, just like that. Not because he's Mexican and doesn't like me. No.
Abel, do you have confidence?
This is sport.
Sorry, Abel, do you have confidence in the judges here in the Nevada Commission this time around?
I think that this time around we have a great set of judges. Steve Weisfeld's probably the most respected in the world. Dave Moretti's an exceptional referee. I mean, judge, and Feldman. Who I don't think I've worked with before. I don't see any discrepancies in some of the scoring. Yeah, he has ideas, but it's generally very, very accurate. The referee. I'm happy that they brought somebody from out of town, out of state.
you ever refereed a fight? I mean, have you ever worked a fight with
I don't think so. I believe that maybe when we were both a lot younger, but as in recent times, I don't think so.
Gennady, you used the phrase scandal several times today. Do you not believe there's any chance that it was contaminated meat and that he just made an honest mistake? Are you convinced that there was something more than just an honest mistake?
I'm not believe for beef. Я не верю, что это было мясо. Мне просто не нравится, что вот эти вот оправдания и ссылки на мясо, то есть, ну, фармацевты говорят в этом объеме, то есть, ну, это невозможно. Что это за чепуха, за бред вообще? Что?
I don't believe in stories about contaminated meat, and the experts and pharmaceutical experts actually determined that was doping, contaminated meat. And contaminated meat, and I think it's all nonsense. I don't like to hear these nonsense stories about contaminated meat.
So some people would say, why would you fight, if you think he intentionally cheated, why would you fight him again and say, I'm going to stand up for my principles and I'm going to fight somebody else because this guy cheated? If you really believe that, why wouldn't you make that stand?
I said, yeah, every time I'm ready for anybody, just, for me it doesn't matter. Like, I don't just first fight, like second fight, just I'm ready for fight. No, this is not my point, just I'm ready for he bring doping, not he don't use doping, If commission bring him, I'm ready. If commission, not bring him, just okay.
So does that go back, you talked about, your street fighting days. Does that go back where, on street fighting a guy can have something in his pocket, he can have brass knuckles on or whatever, that you have to be ready to fight anybody at any time under any circumstance?
This is fight, This is fight. No, street fight is different. Like boxing fight is a little bit, different story. It's more easy. No, I'm a fighter right now. I'm a professional fighter. If you're legal, just for commission for everybody, of course I'm ready.
You have to follow the rules in the ring.
Yeah.
And I just want to be clear on this. Did you think before the last fight, you didn't say it, but did you look at Canelo and say he looked bigger than I've seen him in the past, before the first fight?
September.
Last September.
Я не скажу, что я думал, то есть если комиссия его допустила и у нас был бой, то есть как это, нет смысла об этом говорить. То есть, скорее всего, он был чист, но он зазвенел, в этом факте, все, во втором бою.
Well, it makes no sense to guess, was he taking something or not. The commission allowed him to fight, so it means it's all legal. The other thing is that he got caught the second time. That's important.
Before we wrap up, can you give us something definitive? What was the issue on the wraps, the taping, the gauze?
Here in Nevada, they seem to accept the stacking, which everybody in the boxing business knows it's an illegal way of wrapping hands. I think Tim Bradley said something on the telecast in the last fight. But because Nevada allows it and the rules are very vague, there's not more I can say about not accepting that. But I will say, though, there is rules in their bylaws that says that you're allowed to use a maximum of 12 feet of 2-inch tape, which in turn would be, say, 24 of 1-inch tape. If you look at the video where I protested, they used a whole roll on the first layer, which is 30 feet, and they used another roll on the top layer, which is another 30 feet. So to me, that's more close to 50, 60 feet. I am questioning that, and I've had, Tom and I have had discussions about that with Mr. Bennett. I want those rules followed. If we're going to follow them, we're going to follow the rules.
Are you going to bring that up at the
Absolutely, I'm going to bring it up. But I want that now, though. I want that talked about now. I don't want to wait to fight or till we're in a dressing room. I don't want to disrupt their concentration. What I'd like to do is get it resolved now, because it is 24 feet. If it's vague, it's vague. I understand that. But if it's in the rules, then follow the rules. Specific.
The rules meeting, by the way, is tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah, also, what did you make of them trying to use those custom gloves at the Reynoso's?
Everybody blames me for turning them down. I didn't turn them down. On Wednesday, when Tom and the Golden Boy people had their walkthrough of the venue, Tom calls me Wednesday afternoon and says, if you want to see the gloves, drive up tonight from Big Bear. I stopped the training, didn't train that day with him, somebody else worked with him, and I came to Vegas to be told when I got here that the Golden Boy people objected to me looking at him by myself. So we made an appointment for the next week on a Thursday. I believe on Tuesday or Wednesday, Tom gets a email from Mr. Bennett telling them that they've refused the gloves. They're not going to allow them to use the gloves. So for me to turn them down, I have to look at them first. But I understood just last Saturday we had a fight at the forum where the commissioner in California said they turned him down for any fight in California, meaning a forum.
He's going to look at it.
Yeah.
All right, Gennady, you have said before that you didn't believe the meat excuse, and you also said that you saw track marks on his arm before the first fight. You said that a few months ago. Does that mean if you thought he was cheating the first time, now there's more comprehensive testing? Do you think that you're going to face a Canelo who's different this time around? Do you believe this?
Но меня, по крайней мере, это меньше всего беспокоит. То есть, если я говорил, что были видны следы от инъекции, но на самом деле они более видны, кто может отрицать это? То есть, если вы настолько защищаете его, это эти следы были видны и все. Меня это меньше всего как бы беспокоит, и в данный момент мне меньше всего беспокоит. Мне без разницы, у нас есть бой, я рад, потому что у нас есть бой сейчас.
This is the last thing I would be worried about. You couldn't deny that there was some injection marks on his hands. That it wasn't his arm was injection mark. I don't know what it was, but the injection marks was evidently there. But right now, it's the last thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about the fight. That's the most important thing.
Where were the injection marks at? Can you show me on his arm where you saw them?
Все мышцы, то есть это и бицепсы, плечи, и пресс, и везде были.
Well, everywhere, in biceps, his stomach, pretty much everywhere, all over his body, you can see injection marks.
But these were from photos people sent him?
Yeah, I understand that this is, he's reading this off of, or he's looking at.
He did not see that in the ring that night.
Yeah, it was things that were being said to him. He was just relaying what was obvious on the picture.
And Abel, it's your belief that he was doping for the first fight. That's your belief.
No, I don't want to say that. No, what I would say is that I would have liked for him to be man enough to come out and be truthful right off the bat and tell us that when the thing came out, instead of waiting 3 weeks for to cancel the date because he was hoping that thing was going to be okay by the Nevada Commission. Really.
Okay, I guess what I'm trying to understand is like, so Gennady, you said that you don't believe the meat excuse, you saw the injection marks. So does that mean you think that he's going to be at a different level this time, that he's not being helped by something?
Да, Сергей, объяснить, мне вообще без разницы. Я говорю, это не то, что я говорю. Это приносят, это показали фотографии, где видны инъекции. То есть это же не я говорю, что вот у нас использовали инъекции. Да. Вы ему объясните то, что как бы вот эту тему они же поднимают. Да, то есть это не я же показываю, это люди принесли и показывают то, что есть инъекция. То есть мне вообще без разницы, этот бой был, и я готов сейчас, и я боксирую, и я готов сейчас боксировать. То есть меня это вообще никак не беспокоит.
I want to state it very strongly. I don't care about that. That's the last thing I'm worried about. And it's not me coming out to the story that he has injection marks. People show me photographs. You can see the photographs that there was injection marks. But that's the least thing that I'm worried about. Let's just not talk about this anymore.
He's just focused on the fight in September. He says his belief is if the Nevada Commission clears him and that he's licensed, then he's going to fight him. They did their research and he's done all of his VADA testing. It was part of our contract, and that's what he's focused on Saturday.
Tom, let me ask you this then. Is there any concern on your part that the testing didn't begin soon enough for this fight because of protracted negotiations?
Let's put it this way, Tim. This is the longest that Canelo's been tested. So last time, when he tested positive was a long time. He was tested positive in Mexico. So I guess you could say there's always going to be a question, but he's not focused on that. We're all not focused on that. Abel, we can't be concerned what Canelo side is going to do. Triple G's in the best condition, the best shape to fight him on Saturday night. So, as long as he's followed the rules and as long as the commission has licensed him, we're not talking about the doping. He did get suspended. It's a fact that he tested positive twice, but right now we're just focusing on the fight to get him back in the ring.
Tom, they haven't come together face to face.
No, not for this promotion. There hasn't been any face-off. That seems to be up in the air on the Canelo side. Gennady said he has no problem looking Canelo in the eyes, but you know, it's somewhat it builds the intrigue for the promotion. At the same time, you know, had we done a tour or whatever, that wouldn't have been an issue either. So we're just kind of we were happy to get this fight done. You know, everyone knows it was a lot of negotiations going back and forth. We went past the deadline. Eric Gomez and I actually came to an agreement past the deadline, and we were happy to get this fight done. Now we're just focused on doing the fight, whether there's a face-off or no face-off. Definitely by the weigh-in, there's going to be a face-off. And if that's the first time they look each other in the eyes, then that's no problem with that.
Can I ask one other question about the fight itself? Was there anything in the first fight that Canelo did that you were impressed by, that you thought was better than you thought he could do?
Yes, bigger.
Yes.
He ran.
But Jordan made brand new shoes for him, a new sole, new hybrid sole that actually propels him across the ring, so he's going to be faster. He's prepared.
Have they been checked out by the commission?
The Harry Potter collection.
There's no rules on the soles.
Hey, but when they talk about it, when you said that Canelo's going to make adjustments, but what do you think he can really do differently in this fight? Because obviously, if he stands in the pocket, it's not healthy for him. So, what do you see him doing? If there's more movement, he shouldn't win by points. So, what do you expect?
I think that if he fights to win, he's going to have to do what he did in some of the rounds more consistently in the fight. So if he does it from the beginning, we're looking at a different fight, 9, 10, 11, and 12. He'll be hit more, he'll be wore out more, and he'll be there to do what he promised he was going to do and try to knock him out. And I think is when we're going to be treated to that kind of fight that we thought we were going to get the first time. If he chooses to punch in desperation and survive until the 11th and 12th round, then it's going to be boring.
Well, but does that concern you then? You know, the championship rounds, Canelo wins the championship rounds. I mean, it seemed like he had more left in the fight than Gennady did in the last 2 rounds.
That doesn't concern me because it's a 12-round fight. If we win 9 or 8 of the first ones and he wins 3, 1 along the way and then 3 at the end, we still win the fight. The fact is that he has been telling everybody and he's promised the fans that he's gonna knock him out. In order to do that, you have to be at range. A lot of times I get asked about why didn't he throw any body shots? How many body shots did Canelo throw? A lot. Huh? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. In desperation, and get the hell out. I think that in order to win a fight, you have to want to win a fight. If you saw the show on Saturday night, there was 3 fights where 3 guys or 6 guys were trying to win a fight. That's I think what all we expect. We're not going to pay $90 to see somebody run again. So if he wants to win the fight, if he actually wants to, and he can employ any kind of tactic he wants, but just try to win the fight.
Serious question. Do you actually think that was running? Because I watched the fight 4 times now, and it seems to be that, yes, he wasn't trading and standing in the pocket, but he was boxing all the time. He was throwing punches the entire fight.
Go back to the interview.
It wasn't like breaking down.
Go back to the interview when he fought Mayweather and fought Lara. What did he say?
Yeah, he said the same thing. I didn't agree with that either.
Okay, well, you're a writer and we're the fighters, all right?
Most movement we've seen.
I thought that was nonsense too.
We're supposed to be the experts over here?
Supposed to be being the operative word.
Guys, we got to wrap it in a second. If Canelo were your fighter, would you tell him to trade with him?
No, I tell him to fight smart, but I tell him to win the rounds to win the fight. I would tell him to use the skills that we've developed, just like the things that we've done with him. Everybody's got a different style, but we got to use the skills to try to win. His defense is very good. He's a good counterpuncher. Try to counterpunch. But in the middle of that, he's going to leave himself exposed. That's where fighters like this and like Julio Cesar Chavez and like some of the greats that had those styles took advantage of a situation, punched in between punches, catch him in between. So if he's willing to do that, if he's willing to at least use his skills to try to win, then we have a better fight.
All the talk we've had about anger, this guy, he's running, he's afraid, all that stuff. If it engenders a genuine feeling, I don't want to say hatred, I can't believe it, but anger, if they can't control the anger, does that not lead to a major problem?
Well, it's not anger. I don't think it's anger on each side. I think it's trying to prove something. But in those moments where they are angry and they make mistakes, then it becomes a different fight.
That could be the fight.
That becomes a different fight, absolutely.
Ready, good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gennady.
Tomorrow.
That was a good answer.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe we've been run. You did a lot.
Right. You know, everybody's got an opinion.
I know.
What color pants are you wearing on
Thank
Saturday?
you, sir. And it's
Beige?
Beige?
Go back to what I said.
Going to war, Army colors? Just kidding.
Thank you, Tom.
Good. Thanks, Joe.